Yeah. Pro Fan Sports Podcast. Let's get it. Pro fans, tune into the program. Every single week, get the dope, fam. Sean on the mic, very flat too. Keep you updated, that's what we do. Pro fans, tune into the program. Pro fans, tune into the program. Pro fans, tune into the program. Every single week, get the dope, fam.
Yo, what it do, everybody? It's your boy John Altidor with Pro Fan Sports Podcast, where the fans of the pros go. Back at you with another one. My boys, Vlad and Barry. What's good, my dudes?
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, what's up, guys? We're here, episode 33. Another week and another episode for our fans. So I'm excited to be here. We're on that 33.
Episode 33, Larry Bird.
Yes, Larry Legend.
Kevin Falk.
Kevin Falk,
You know
yep.
what I mean? Two of my favorite guys.
Right. Zdeno Chara,
Zdeno Chara.
Jamal Adams. There's a bunch of 33s out there. So
Yeah,
33 is a good number for sure to be an athlete. So definitely shout out to those guys. Those are all really good players and have been successful in their career.
Facts, man. And remember, follow us on social media. We're everywhere. We're on Instagram, profans_sport. We're on Twitter, ProFanSports. So that's twitter.com/ProFanSports. Facebook.com/ProFanSports. We're on YouTube. And please, if you're watching, please subscribe to YouTube channel right now. It helps us tremendously. It helps push us to what we're trying to get to. So youtube.com/ProFanSports. We drop every Tuesday morning on all major platforms. You think about it, we're probably there. And our videos drop on Wednesdays, actually, every Wednesdays. So be on the lookout for that. You can press the notification bell on the YouTube so you can get all the notifications. Right. So not only is it episode 33, it's actually gonna drop on November 3rd, which is election day in this country.
It's a huge day.
Yeah.
It's one of the biggest days of our lifetime, and at least of this generation, and as far as how I see it. So, it's a pretty significant day in this country, without a doubt.
I keep hearing that, man. A lot of people are saying this is the most significant, election in our lifetime. Like, what do you guys think about that? And are you voting?
I can't vote.
You can't vote?
No.
Why is that?
I'm not a citizen.
He ain't a citizen yet. So he's an immigrant of the country, but yet you're a engineer in this country, right? Which is pretty dope.
That's awesome.
So this is
that's what's up. Big shout out to you on that, Vlad.
I'm a former immigrant. I'm a former immigrant, and I became a citizen when I turned 16. So I've been voting for a little while. Barry, you voting?
Yes, absolutely. I'm voting, of course.
How long you been voting?
I've been voting for about 8 years now. I think the first time I voted was when I was 20 years old, and and that was, believe, for Obama's second term coming up. So that was my first time voting.
Yeah, I mean, we're all fairly young. So, Vlad, have you ever gotten a chance to vote? And will you be able to vote anytime soon in the future?
I don't know when I'll be able to vote, but I have never voted.
Yeah?
No.
And what does that mean to you, though? Would you like the ability to vote?
Yeah, I mean, of course. But I think what I would want to say is that I hope everybody out there is going to vote, and whether it doesn't matter who you're voting for, as long as you voice your opinion. Not everybody gets to do that, and especially living in the United States, where it's a privilege to be able to vote, and it's a right it's also your right to vote. But a lot of countries don't get that privilege, and you shouldn't take it for granted. And I think anybody that's listening today, please go out there and vote. If you haven't voted already, I hope everybody that's listening to us actually went out and voted early, because the polls will be very long on Tuesday, So please, if you haven't voted, please go out and vote.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
mean, I went out there and voted already, man. So I feel no pressure for the third, But if people were lackadaisical or didn't have time, make sure you make time on Tuesday, to go
Yeah,
out
I'm
there
gonna
and
go
vote.
early
You know
Tuesday
what I'm saying?
morning.
I think for me, right, as a I'm an immigrant of the country. I definitely consider myself that. I am also a citizen of the country. You know what I'm saying? So I am Haitian American, you call it, right? But 4 years ago, when the election happened, I also voted then. And I remember, the feelings I had when I voted then. You know what I'm saying? And the results that happened. I definitely kind of like felt out of place. I don't know if you felt like that, Vlad. Like, I don't know. I felt worried about my people, worried about friends that I know that didn't have like a citizenship status here. If they were gonna come under scrutiny or like be taken out of the country. I saw a lot of jokes being made about immigration and all that kind of stuff. And I'm an immigrant. And I'm a son of immigrants, so it definitely affected me mentally, and I don't think the effects have quite dissipated since then.
Yeah, I mean, definitely the results of the last elections were not favorable to me and to anybody of my skin color or anybody of my ethnicity. So it definitely had me worried and not happy. And I can imagine if I was able to vote, how disappointed I would have felt. But I think this is exactly why this election is so important. I think last election, a lot of people either didn't vote or voted for a third party just because they didn't like the two candidates. But sometimes we are put in a situation where we definitely have to make a choice that's favorable to most people.
Yeah.
And we can only think about ourselves. We gotta think about the world and the future and what we want. And if you haven't been happy the last 4 years, I hope there's no way you're gonna miss a chance to vote and to make the right vote this time around.
Yeah, for sure, man.
No, absolutely, Vlad.
Yeah, Barry, do you have anything to add to that?
I just wanted to, really, uh, go along with the, our emphasis of how significant it is, important to, vote, and how, people shouldn't take that for granted, because not everybody is, fortunate enough to have that opportunity to be able, to vote, because everyone has, a different situation and different background and in different circumstance. So, as far as their status, so I think, for those who, like me, that I am a U.S. Citizen and was born in this country, so I definitely, always, ever since I have been able to vote, at 18, actually started at 18. The actual first election that I voted was at 20, but 18 was my actual first time, like, going to a poll on my own and actually being able to, vote in the local election. So, ever since that, I've gone every year, whether it's, a presidential election year or just a local election. I've always understood and, realized how important it is, and how, fortunate I am to be able to do that, and that's something I'll never take for granted, and that would always mean a lot to me personally, and that I'll continue to do every year moving forward, and always like try to tell people and tell everyone I know that can vote to go out and do it, and that your vote counts and your vote matters, because some people think that, what does it matter if I go out and vote? This person is going to win anyway, or such and such is going to win anyway, and the result will be this. But, people have to get out of that way of thinking and that mentality, and just, we go out and control what they control, and, go vote and make your voice heard and get your and get your voice out there. So I think that with doing those things and just being able to spread that knowledge to people, it's always something that I've valued a lot, and that I'll continue to value moving forward. So I'm looking forward to voting this election on Tuesday morning as soon as the polls open.
Yeah, man. You said something important. Voting for local is definitely a lot more important at times, because that actually, really affects exactly what happens to you in your community. So I can't stress that enough. My first time was second term for Obama, because I was too young to vote before then. No, I was old enough to vote, but then I knew Obama was going to be president. I was just like, first black president. Everybody was just like, time for change and stuff like that. So I'm like, there's no way this guy's going to lose this election. But the second time, I was just like, well, it'd be unfair if you gave Bush 8 years and give this guy 4 years when he's actually doing good.
Right.
But those are my opinions. You know what I'm saying? Our show's definitely a sports show, so we don't want to get into, the politics all the time, but we feel like it's definitely important when things like that come around, that we talk about it, we touch upon it for a little bit at least, because at the end of the day, these things do affect us no matter if we're entertainers or not,
Big facts.
Well, let's bring it back to sports. Actually, 90% of the NBA registered to vote. So big shout outs to the NBA guys, and making the initiatives. People like Jaylen Brown, Chris Paul, and them. They banded together and did some really good stuff. LeBron, he has a whole organization.
Thing that he was doing. Yeah.
Right. LeBron has made a whole organization. I think it's like Change the Vote or something like that. But if you want to look, you can look it up. For yourself. These guys are active in the communities and doing some stuff, man. And we're gonna move into the regular, Pro Fan Sports Podcast show. We're gonna be talking about the NFL, the NBA, and MLB, and soccer, of course. B Money got a person for you this week, and then we got a question. And let's get to it, man. So to the NFL, New England Patriots. So some news with the New England Patriots this week. They didn't have Julian Edelman. He had a knee issue. He's potentially out for the rest of the year, of the season, which is actually pretty crazy. Stephon Gilmore injured his knee in practice and wasn't able to play in the Buffalo game as well. And N'Keal Harry he suffered a concussion against the 49ers, so he couldn't play either. There's been a lot of questions throughout the week, man, nationally, locally, about Stephon Gilmore when it comes to the positioning of the team, with the record they got right now, with the way things look, on the field into the future. The big question is, should they look into trading Stephon Gilmore? And I wanted to know your thoughts about that.
100% trade him now. Yeah, I know he's injured, but the situation that the Patriots are in at 2-5, where it's the chance of making the playoffs and making a real push for the season is very slim. Get as much as you can for Stephon Gilmore right now.
Yeah, I'm with that. I think not only should they look to trade him, they should look to trade just about anybody on this roster at this point and look to blow it up, because I think pretty much for this team, the season's just about over, and they should be rebuilding and trying to position themselves on in the future, and as far as getting a high draft pick in next year's draft and accumulating draft picks as much as they can, send whatever pieces and assets, and that's obviously the biggest asset in Stephon Gilmore that has the most value that you can give away. They definitely should be looking to do it. I was hearing earlier today that they're not looking to be active sellers at the deadline. There were reports on that, and I kind of laughed at that too, John. But I think after today's game, I'd be surprised if this team doesn't make any moves and doesn't trade any but players away at Tuesday's trade deadline.
Right, about Sunday's game, we're gonna get into that a little bit. But I'm definitely with you guys. As much as I'd hate to see it, at this point, like he's gonna be valuable to like a contender or something like that, like a Seattle who has no defense at all.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Somebody that may be in contention and need like one more piece in their backfield. I'm sure there's somebody out there that could use it. It just doesn't make sense like for us to keep Stephon Gilmore anymore. What are we gonna do with Stephon Gilmore for the rest of the season? Like,
And he hasn't been playing that well either.
Right? He hasn't been like the best player on the field, even though he's the defensive player of the year. He's the reigning defensive player of the year. He just hasn't looked like it all year. And given the situation the team's in, it's like, it really makes no sense to keep anybody that's like really good right now. Because listen, the best teams, right, when they lose like key pieces and they become mediocre, the best teams that turn around the quickest are the ones that are quick to do it. You know what I'm saying? They're not waiting. They're not waiting for anything. They know like this is a man. I hate to say it, we're in a real rebuilding situation right now.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like we're
Absolutely.
in a rebuilding situation. Like don't kid yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like we know what good football looks like, and we haven't gotten it all year. No, you know what I'm saying?
Sure
like
haven't.
We've had a couple games that we didn't win, but we were close. We're all optimistic, but at the end of the day, we lost these games. You know what I'm saying? So we've won a whopping 2 games this year, and we've scored a total of 49 points in the last 4 games.
49 points.
49
In the
points,
last 4
and
games.
that's actually the lowest stretch.
Unreal. Unbelievable.
The lowest stretch in Bill Belichick's career, and he coached the Cleveland Browns.
I know this is crazy, guys. This is a weird and really awkward and odd feeling to see a Bill Belichick coach team rebuilding and be 2-5, 3 games under 500 at the halfway point of the season. Like I thought I would. I know this team. You know what I'm saying? Lack some things, lack a lot of things, and in a lot of areas, but it's just like so surreal that a great head coach like Bill Belichick would be coaching a team that is as bad as the Patriots are, and that is pretty much rebuilding. I never thought we'd actually rebuild with Belichick here, but that's what it looks like as of right now. And yeah, it's just kind of sickening it and processing it, and it's kind of like just like damn, like we're really, this is really happening right now. It's a pretty strange feeling that I'm sure we have never felt before in the Bill Belichick era, and thought we would never see to this point.
Yeah, man. They're 2-5 now, and they're number 3 in the division, behind Buffalo, Miami, and the only reason they're above the Jets is because they haven't won a game, and they're historically horrible.
0-8.
0-8.
2 games ahead of the Jets.
I don't know how their coach
Lord.
is still coaching, but I'm definitely
That's what I'm
sure
saying, right.
they are tanking for Trevor for sure.
Oh, absolutely. They have to be.
Which is kind of crazy because they just picked Sam Darnold in the first round a couple years ago. And I thought, he looked promising, but not enough about the Jets. Let's go into the Patriots recap versus the Bills, man. So the Patriots lost to the Bills at the Bills' house for the first time since 2011.
Yep.
And the score was 24-21. We saw a good played game for a lot of the game. I wouldn't say majority. The Patriots had a chance to win it at the end there, and Cam Newton fumbled the ball maybe around like the 12-yard line or something like that, 12, 15-yard line.
In the red zone, well in the red zone.
Well in the red zone, and, Patriots lose it in heartbreaking fashion. What'd you guys see? How'd you guys feel? What do you guys think was the issue today?
I mean, it's definitely a better game than the last game against the 49ers. It wasn't a great game by any stretch of the imagination. Cam Newton played almost mistake-free, but he actually had the mistake that cost us the game. I was actually rooting for him to get a win under his belt and gain some confidence, and he didn't make as many questionable decisions as he has in the past couple of games. This game, he actually made some smart decisions, I thought, but at the same time, as much as he cost us the game, I think coaching was very much a part of us losing this game. As far as the decision to not go for it at the end of the first half, going for the onside kick in the middle of the game, where when you still had the game in your hand, you had momentum, you killed momentum. There's so many things I feel as we can pick on the coaching side of the ball as much as we can pick on Cam Newton. Josh McDaniels' play calling on third down was really poor as well. And our defense, we have nobody to stop the run. We don't have a linebacker that can stop the run, and it was also weird. The Patriots was playing with 7 defensive backs on the field, so there was really nobody. There was really nobody to stop the run. So it was a bad game all around. We still had a chance to win it at the end, and unfortunately we didn't. But yeah.
Yeah, it is an extremely disappointing and discouraging and just, frustrating game for the New England Patriots. I think they honestly beat themselves this game, and, that they didn't get beat by the Buffalo Bills. I think the Bills slightly played, better than them, but I think it was a pretty even game for the most part, with the exception of the end of the game, obviously with, Vlad just said, with the turnover that cost us and the Cam Newton fumble, at least they did show, more pride and heart, and they competed a lot better than they have in the last several weeks, because I didn't feel like they did that ever since even the Kansas City game. They've had 3 consecutive really bad games that they have. It didn't look like they, played well and played hard. I thought, at least we saw, that was more evident today during the Bills. And the execution, was better. I mean, obviously they started off pretty slow in the first half and didn't really play that well offensively. The defense kept them in it in the first half, but even with the defense, like, geez, like these guys, the Buffalo Bills were running the football right down their throats all game long, and they were gaining at least 7, 8 yards a carry. It was like they would pretty much almost get a first down every time they'd run the ball. It was, extremely frustrating to watch that. And these guys were missing so many tackles, particularly Juwan Bentley. And as my boy DJ B-Dog was saying, that Juwan Bentley couldn't even tackle a cold. This guy was straight god awful and atrocious today. He missed so many tackles, and you're right, he just looked really, I don't even think bad's word. He looked abysmal. It was horrendous how bad he played and how bad the tackling was for the Patriots. I thought they did a little bit of a better job outside of him, but there was still some guys that missed tackles. I thought the secondary played pretty well, particularly, and Adrian Phillips, who played a lot of linebacker for us, and he's actually a safety. That goes to show you our depth at linebacker as far as how thin it is. But it still just wasn't good enough to win the game, and they just honestly didn't make enough plays and enough winning plays to win the game. I was kind of actually impressed with the offense as far as how were able to move the ball in the second half and actually score points, because I didn't even think they would score 21 points. I thought they'd even struggle to make it to like 13 points, or or even get to double digits, because I didn't really expect too much from them, as depleted as the offense is and as depleted as that receiving core is, playing all guys that were undrafted. But at least Jacoby Myers played pretty well. I was happy with what I saw from him. Him and Cam Newton looked like they had a good rapport and good connection. As well as the other guys made some plays too, the other receivers. But it just wasn't enough, and I just feel like this pretty much I hate to say it, kind of ends their season, because they were really playing for their season and a chance to stay alive, not only in the division but but also for a wild card spot. And I think this game, by losing it today, it kind of pretty much puts him out of it, to a point where I'm even questioning whether they should still even play Cam Newton moving forward, because I don't see this team, going anywhere or even making the playoffs and finishing 500. I think they're going to finish under 500 and, and not really do too well the rest of the way. So I'm extremely frustrated in what I've seen to this point from this team, and it's just disappointing as far as how the game ended and how they blew a golden opportunity to steal a game from the Bills and put themselves in a much better situation, in this season. So, it's just, it was a terrible way to end a game that they should have honestly won.
Yeah, man, I'm definitely a lot of disappointments, man. I know Cam Newton, he I don't think he played mistake-free football, because he made some mistakes for sure. And I think he's missing some stuff, man. Like checking plays at the line. McDaniel's making some of the calls he made, like 3rd and 3 or something like that, where Cam Newton gave James White the ball to go right down the middle, which I found questionable. And then later on, they had a same
really weird
kind of play, and Cam Newton actually, he actually called out of that, and he did a little pitch to Rex Burkhead instead, and I'm just like, why isn't that happening like the whole game? You know what I'm saying? Like what is missing? He's definitely not accurate, and don't get me wrong, I like Cam Newton. Without him, I don't think we were even like in the game today. But also, big props to Damian Harris. He had over 100 yards and 16 carries only. And he looked like the real deal out there. You know what I'm saying?
Best player on offense.
For real, he was definitely the best player today.
No doubt, absolutely.
I think the coaching staff has been making some really questionable calls for me.
I think it's the lack of confidence in Cam Newton. I think the lack of confidence in Cam Newton being able to throw the ball down the field without making an interception, without
I mean,
a turnover.
he's inaccurate as hell, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
He is.
like
Oh,
there was
God,
there
that
was this
first half
little
was awful.
pass in the flat that James White went out for, and he had the first down by a mile, and Cam threw it wide to the sideline, and I'm like, dude, like. James White is like right there. You know what I'm saying? Like
And there was no one there.
There was no one there, bro. I'm
Really
like,
easy picked
I was
up
like,
the
what?
first down,
What
right.
was that? You know?
Exactly. That was-
And it's stuff
Horrible.
like that. You know that like dude, like there's accuracy issues for sure. But then again. He'll scramble and then throw a little pass to Ryan Izzo to pick up a first down. You know what I'm saying? Like improvise where he gets out of a tackle and it's like his, brilliance and then wild play. Inaccuracy.
Right, a lot of ups and downs.
Yes, man.
Him, particularly in this game, for sure.
We went for two after that touchdown to Jacoby Myers. No, after
After
who was
the
that? Damian Harris.
A Russian touchdown.
Yeah,
We actually
Jacoby
converted
Myers
that,
got the 2-point conversion. I didn't agree with them going for 2 points right there because I felt like they had a lot more time left in the game to actually, just take the points. Listen, man, this whole year I'm just like, dude, just take the points when it's there. Because like a few games ago when they went for it, I'm like, why are they doing that? Because we have like a whole second quarter left, and then they did the onside kick, like Vlad said, took the whole momentum. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
the
that was a
Buffalo
dumb
Bills is
decision.
running it down your neck. Why would you want to give them a short field after you scored a touchdown? That doesn't make any sense to me. It's like you're going to catch them off guard. Like, what are the odds of that play working out in the NFL?
Very
Yeah, no, very slim. And
Very slim.
No, absolutely, John. And like, I get that the Patriots were desperate to, a desperate team and desperate to win this game. But yeah, I agree. I don't agree with that onside kick call.
Bro.
Like that was, I think, one of the biggest mistakes by far of this game. That was just as bad as Cam Newton's fumble. Because yeah, they just didn't make any sense why they did that from a football standpoint, because like their defense had been playing well up until that point, and they just tied the game and just had a good drive offensively, and we put points up on the board. So yeah, I don't see Bill's logic or the special team coach, whoever that is. I don't see their reasoning and why they would call an onside kick at that point of the game.
Yeah, I mean, the last time I've seen something working like that, correct me if I'm wrong, but I haven't seen that since Sean Payton did it in the Super Bowl. Like a play like that in that scenario working, on the side of the team that just scored. Like, I just haven't seen it, You saw the Falcons mess up like a onside kick. But
they were scared
they're
to recover.
boneheads, you know what I'm saying? It's like
exactly, you expect that from the Falcons. For real.
You know what I'm saying? So like, I didn't get that at all. And then at the end there, when we're going down the field to win the game, the last frame of the game there, I don't understand why we didn't actually take a shot. We were like 15 yards. You know what I'm saying? It's like, take a shot, go run whatever play you got to run, on second or whatever. At least take a shot, you know what I'm saying?
They didn't take many shots.
They could have taken more than
listen,
one shot.
Jacoby Myers had been getting open all game. You know what I'm saying? That's the other thing. Why, like I said it last podcast, why in the hell have we not been using Jacoby Myers all year? I don't understand that, because it seems like Cam Newton has a rapport with him.
He's really the only weapon out there.
He was our only weapon out there. Why have we not used him
actually trusted and relied on? Right.
Demar Bird also had a couple of good catches.
He had a decent game.
Yeah, but
he made some plays.
He made some timely play. I'm not even going to say decent game.
Myers definitely was the one target that you can tell Cam Newton had a rapport with and a trust in that
the guy gets
that
open
he wanted to throw to,
and he catches the ball wherever you throw it in his vicinity. That's what you need. You know what I'm saying?
Hands,
like
absolutely.
on that 2-point conversion there, that guy almost makes a pick. He just like reaches in there and grabs it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna say effortless, but like he looks the part. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying he's a number one receiver, but he's a solid number 3 at least. You know what I'm saying? Why has he not?
Good complimentary receiver.
Demir Bird is not a number 1 receiver. He's not a number 2. He's not a number 3. He's like a number 4
at best.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So like at best. And Julian Edelman is not a number 1. Now he's not even a number 2. Maybe a number 3 now. And then
I don't know about that. I think when he's healthy, he can be a number 2.
He's not healthy. We're talking about when he's healthy. When I'm talking about right now. I'm not talking about when he's healthy. Last year, the years he did that. I'm talking about the state of his career right now. And it just hasn't looked good all year. And I mean, he was out this game. So
I think if he's right, he could be a number 2. But I know I hear what you're saying. He hasn't clearly been right for a while, and that's why he didn't play and had the knee surgery. But yeah, man, it's crazy that they waited this long to put Jacoby Myers in and give him this number of snaps and have him this involved in the offense. They should have had him in the offense. Like
it makes no sense.
The whole year, exactly. Especially since they're playing a bunch of practice squad receivers, a bunch of guys that they promoted from the practice squad ahead of him, and guys that shouldn't even be on a game day roster. Like I'm looking at the depth chart and I'm like, how the hell are these guys on an NFL game day roster? They wouldn't even make any other NFL team.
Listen, man, at this point, like, people might hate what I'm about to say, but like that kid Isaiah Zuber, I'd play over N'Keal Harry. Like the guy has caught every single pass he's been given this year, and it's like if you got live bodies like that, why are we not throwing them? Why are we not scheming stuff for them? And it's frustrating because I look at other teams, like the 49ers that came through last week, and it's like unknown guys just come out of nowhere and they just killing us.
I think it has something to do with the quarterback play as well. I think if there was more consistent quarterback play, I think that would open up for some of those guys as well. And as much as I think he doesn't have good receivers, but I think the quarterback play has been poor. Really,
I mean,
poor.
Absolutely, yeah. You're absolutely right.
We definitely have to hold the quarterbacks accountable as well.
Yeah, and that brings me back to what Barry was saying. It might be time to think about putting Stidham out there. We're 2-5.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
At this point, might as well.
Like, even if we get into the playoffs, what are we gonna do there?
Exactly.
What are
one
we
and
doing
done.
there?
You'll be and done.
You're putting a lot of effort into nothing. You know what I'm saying? At least let's see what Stidham has. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying he's better than Cam Newton, but at this rate, it's like, we need some kind of better play, some kind of change, something. And I know Bill Belichick already said that Cam Newton's the quarterback. We play the Jets next. I'm sure that's going to be, I don't know, judging by all the games we've played this year, that might be a competitive game, so.
I don't see it against the damn Jets. Like, yeah, man. Be a team that were almost as bad as. God.
Yeah, man.
I can't believe they actually had that game on Monday Night Football. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
The Patriots and Jets, like, on Monday Night Football. What was the NFL thinking scheduling that game as a primetime Monday Night Football game? Like,
don't be surprised if they flex it.
No, they don't flex.
No, they can't.
They don't flex Monday night games.
Not Sunday nights they can, but not Monday nights. They need to change the NFL and make it so that Monday night games can be flexed too, because they shouldn't be that bad of two teams that are that bad playing on a Monday night football game. Like, that should never happen in the NFL, point blank period.
Hey, if you want a good product,
that's terrible that we're about to see that.
If you want a good product, they might want to think about changing that, for sure.
Seriously, right.
I mean, so we're playing the Jets next. We lost to the Bills 24-21. If you want to check the recap, do a highlight or something like that. But, it wasn't our best game. But we're going to move on to the Jets now. who
the
are
Jets.
0-8 now as of today because they played Kansas City Chiefs, and obviously, they
Oh, yeah, of
lost.
course they lost.
I don't think there was
That was a
any
given.
chance in hell they would have won that game.
Hell no.
But the Jets are playing at home. They're 0-8, and we play them next. What are you guys seeing for that game?
Yeah, man, we better win that game. I think. I hope they keep Kim in. I don't know. I think I don't know how much Stidham has and how Stidham can improve the offense. I do think that Cam didn't play for how many games did he miss last year? He missed basically the whole year last year.
Yeah, basically.
And,
pretty much.
And he missed a couple of games the year before too.
Yeah, he missed like half the season.
So that's like a year and a half out of football. So I think, I remember when Brady came back after his ACL injury, and it took Brady a little bit to like get comfortable and get back into the swing of being. I'm not gonna compare Brady.
Yeah, he never looked like that.
No.
Right,
I know.
Hey, boy.
But those are two different players, right? Brady is the greatest of all time, and Kim Newton is not the greatest of all time. So I didn't expect him to look like that either. But I'm gonna give it to him that being a year out of football, a year and a half out of football, and coming to a new team, a new offense, I just think because some of Cam Newton's decision making, the way he's playing right now, it's not just bad decisions. Some of it is, you can tell he's uncomfortable. He doesn't have the same confidence that he usually has. He had a hole open during the Bills game where he was going against a safety, and usually Cam Newton will just run that safety over, but like you saw him like thinking about it, you know what I mean?
Right,
so I think
right.
I think part of it is it's not just like he sucks. Part of it is, this is a guy that's been out football for a year and a half, didn't have an off season.
Man, he fooled us, man, because I saw those highlight tapes.
To a new team, you know what I mean? So I think all that has something to do with it. So I do think Belichick is going to stay with him, and I think the Jets is going to be a good medicine to get back on the winning side of things.
We'll be 3-5 if Vlad
Hey,
right.
3 and 5. Like, geez,
That's where we are right now.
Like as if that's something to be excited and happy about, right? Like, damn, I know that this really sucks, man. Like, geez, like not I feel how New York Jets fans have been feeling the last few years when their team
Not
been
yet.
sucking.
Not for me, man. I don't think so yet. You know what I'm saying? We've been
You
winning.
don't think so?
We've been
yet?
winning so long, dude. Like, if we have a losing season, like, okay, we have a losing season, but something's got to be done about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, okay, cool. You're gonna have a losing season, but what are we doing next year to make sure that doesn't happen? How are we repositioning ourselves to get back into this thing? You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously one of the biggest needs, we definitely need a quarterback, man. How do we go about that? We need to start identifying these things like right now, because it obviously can't wait, man.
No, for sure. And I mean, I hear what you're saying, John, but it's been frustrating that they haven't done anything to this point to do that. And honestly, I don't know how I feel as far as even, in the draft and stuff, as far as Bill being able to draft. He hasn't drafted well, and I think that's part of the thing that's put this team in the position, is the misses that he's had on all these draft picks that have just underachieved and underperformed and not been as good as he expected or the team expected. So I think that's part of the reason why we're 2-5 and we're rebuilding, because at some point we're gonna need to draft well and get some more talent in here through that, because I mean, I don't see how else we'd be talented, because we don't like spending a lot in free agency or really trading too much, for big names. So and I don't honestly don't know how I feel about about those things moving forward. But I mean, we'll just have to wait and see how that goes, and if we can right the ship somehow, because it's sinking, and it's sinking real fast right before our eyes.
Listen, man, come next year, the draft, dude, I don't want to see I don't want to see Bill Belichick's dog on the TV, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, please take this shit seriously, bro, because
right, exactly.
That shit right there, for one time, I'd like to see the Patriots, like, you know how they do us. They sign all our coaches every year. Like, we need to go somewhere and grab somebody that actually knows how to, like, draft, better, I don't understand what's going on in Pittsburgh. They always draft, like, the best receivers. Like, every year, some no-name ass person. Exactly.
Director of personnel. Right.
Do something, because, like, what we've been doing that for years, it might have worked because, Tom Brady was here. He made up for a lot of stuff, he made up for a lot of lack of talent that we had, but now he's gone. We need to re-strategize, rethink the way we're doing things, man.
For real, facts.
But I think we were supposed to be talking about the Jets, and we took it elsewhere. But
I know, but I'm not really looking forward to this game. But they should honestly win this game. I mean, it's not saying much being the Jets. They had better not lose this game, or else that would by far be the worst loss in the Bill Belichick era of the New England Patriots, hands down, without a doubt. Exactly, even his whole head coaching career, but that would be the worst loss if they do somehow lose this game to the Jets. But even them beating the Jets, this still doesn't really change my mind and change what I think about the team overall. But honestly, the Jets are, even rebuilding even more and even worse than us, and even we're in a worse position and are clearly tanking, as John said. So the Patriots should be able to win this game, but they still, they need to play better, and they need to execute and all three phases, and and then continue to keep competing. So and they can't take the Jets lightly. So because they're not that much better than the Jets, so they actually have to go out and play a 60-minute game. Moving forward next week on Monday night.
Yeah, man. Monday night's game should be a laugher.
It should be.
Patriots just should go in there, handle their business. The Jets have traded people. They've released people. Yeah, they have not shown any urgency to win anything. They have not shown that, any urgency to fight, put up anything against anybody all year. Sam Darnold is definitely inept. Adam Gase is definitely inept. He needs to be fired.
I don't know why he hasn't been fired yet.
Because they're tanking.
Why haven't they done that?
They're going to fire him at the end of the year when they finish tanking, and then pick Trevor Lawrence first in the draft. That's what's going to happen, unless Trevor Lawrence decides he wants to stay in college
and doesn't want to play for the Jets.
Might be the smartest thing for him to do, because for quarterbacks, the starting of their career is very crucial to their success. And if you're gonna surround him around losers, then you can't just will your team to win in the NFL if you don't have the talent. You know what I'm saying? As much as we get at Cam Newton, he has nobody to play with. He has nothing. We don't have one notable tight end. I think we had one healthy tight end today, and we just went into the game just like that. You
don't have NFL caliber receivers.
Nothing.
Or tight ends.
We have a bunch of number 3, number 4 receivers. Like, it's not much better than that, and it looks like the guys that have proven themselves are not being used much at all either. Like James White. I think James White was like barely got in the game last game. I'm watching his plays and stuff, and I just don't understand what's going on. But definitely the Patriots.
I don't know why they're not playing him more.
Right.
That's a fair point and interesting the fact that he's not getting more snaps and getting more touches. He got some touches today and thought he made a couple of really nice plays, but yeah, I'm surprised that we haven't seen a lot more of James White, because to me he's by far their best weapon and playmaker on offense.
Yeah, man. Whatever happens, the NFL trade deadline is actually on Tuesday, November 3rd, at 4 p.m. So depending on what the Patriots do, we'll see which direction they think they can go in for the rest of the year. If they're trading for people, then they think they're still trying to win. If they don't, then status quo, and we're just throwing in the flag or the towel on the season, if they don't make any moves. But other teams that are making moves, the Jets traded Jordan Willis to the 49ers. The Bengals traded Carlos Dunlap to the Seahawks, which is a good move for the Seahawks because their defense sucks.
Good move. They needed another pass rusher too.
Right. John Ross asked the Bengals to trade him, and he's been talking about it. He sucks. I don't know where he's gonna go.
He's trash.
I'll take him.
To do what?
He's better than the Patriots receiver.
What are y'all talking about?
To do what?
That's not
If we were like
Listen,
a contender, I would love him.
right? John Ross is Demir Bird. You know what I'm saying? Like
He would be better.
a little faster.
He would be better than Vladimir Bird on our offense.
I don't know.
If we were contenders, but since we're not contenders, there's no point of getting.
Look at the way Cam Newton look. What is John Ross gonna do here? And
Another at least a weapon, at least an
he was on the
NFL
team
caliber
last
weapon.
year. He hasn't done shit in Cincinnati. He hasn't done anything his whole career there. It's just starting off his rookie year. He got injured the first couple games and then play the rest of the year or something like that.
He's been trash.
He's been trash. And I see a lot of Patriots fans that they're like, yo, John Ross. What the fuck is John Ross gonna do for us?
I think if
He ain't doing nothing on his
right
team
now,
Bro, he's like another Nikhil Harry, pretty much. Honestly,
I would take him if we were contenders. Since we're not contenders, it doesn't matter. But if we were contenders, and as bad as we need receivers right now, I think that would be an extra hand to catch the ball.
How much more of a help is John Ross gonna be? I think that's the question. How much
that's a fair
of a
question.
help
I'm with you
would
on that.
John Ross?
I think he would be better than what we have right now.
And
that's saying a lot. And
Yeah,
that's saying much.
that's all you need. That's all you need.
And that's gonna actually help us win some
That's
football
all-
games.
if somebody-
He's not a game-changing player. He's not a guy that's gonna drastically change your offense and make a difference and make game-changing plays. Like if you're thinking he's that kind of guy, you're fooling yourself. Like that's not who he is. That's not what he does.
Nikhil Harry sucks, and
Listen,
he's out. Edelman is out. So if I need another receiver and he's out there, I would have taken him.
what
but
you just
like
illustrated is how terrible our receivers are.
and that's the point. That's the point of taking somebody that's not that good. It's just like taking the guy that we took last year from Atlanta, whatever his name is. That guy sucks. I hate him. You know what I mean?
You know what? He's way better than John Ross.
I agree.
Would y'all take him back?
No. I agree.
Me either.
But all I'm saying,
keep his ass on
all
the
I'm
free
saying is,
agency.
if we were in a contending position and you needed hands out there, that's another guy that you could have taken. But since that's not the situation that we're in,
Yo, our receivers are so bad they make John Ross look good. That's fucking.
He'd be our number one receiver.
That's nuts.
Lord,
trades,
John freaking Ross, man.
Cowboys.
We actually talked about him on this podcast. Unbelievable. Unreal.
That's facts. We're talking about John Ross.
Right. Crazy, man.
Other trades, Cowboys traded Everson Griffins to the Lions. And a move I actually really like because I like.
Yeah, I
this
actually do
dude.
like that move
I really
for the
like this
Lions.
dude. Ravens. No, that's not what I'm talking about. That's good for the Lions, but the next thing I'm talking about is what I like. Des Bryant is back into the league.
Yes.
He signed with the Ravens on their practice squad. Doesn't mean he's, on the active roster, but that can happen any day,
Anytime,
anytime, just because they can, this year, the way the rules are set up, you can activate guys and deactivate them whenever you want.
that's another guy.
Practice squad.
That's another guy.
That we could have signed?
If we if we were contender, that I would have loved that we signed.
Listen, I think Des Bryant could come into the Patriots right now and be receiver number 2.
You mean one?
Right. You mean wide receiver 1? Right. Like, who's he number 2 behind him?
But he hasn't.
I was trying to give Edelman some.
He
some
hasn't
respect.
played. He hasn't played in a while, so it's gonna be interesting how fast he can rise from the practice squad to the actual 53-man roster. But I'm rooting for him. That's a guy that I like. There was once upon a time he was the number 1 receiver in the league. And, and hopefully
he's making one-handed catches in practice already.
Hopefully,
oh nice.
Yeah.
Hopefully he can get back
Working on his OBJ. There you go.
Yeah. OBJ,
hopefully
man.
he can get back to half of what he was in his prime.
Yeah, man. Hopefully.
Yeah,
man.
hope so too. I'm glad to see him back in the league, and hopefully, it can work out with him and with the Ravens and them. And his opportunity to get back in the league. Hopefully he takes advantage of it and does well. I don't know how much of a difference it's gonna make immediately, but possibly it could. Moving forward, if he does actually make the roster, it could, possibly work out for them. So we'll see what happens with that. But welcome back to the NFL, Des Bryant.
Facts, man. That's gonna be it for the NFL. We're gonna move into the NBA, where we've seen some coaches got hired. Some decisions were made. Some big name coaches getting assistant positions in the league. And yeah, let's get it. So the Pacers hired Nate Bjorkgren. Is that how you say his Bjorkgren? As new coach. I don't know how.
I don't even know how to pronounce that. I have no idea.
Are we spelling that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I believe that's the correct spelling, but to pronounce that, I don't have a clue.
Know who. So the spelling is Bjorkgren.
Yeah, sounds like a German,
Bjorkgren.
Last name, yeah.
Right, but congratulations to him. I don't know.
That's mad weird, crazy.
It's Jergens, like the lotion.
Oh, okay.
No, I don't.
He's like, I don't even know.
Okay.
Hey, at least you tried, Vlad. I wouldn't even try. At least you tried to shoot your shot, man.
I was gonna say that name should be easy for us, Jergens. Get it?
That's a good one, John.
Huh? Why? Oh, we don't want to explain that to you. We'll explain that to you.
Y'all are nasty.
You just got it.
No, it's not that I just got it. I've been getting it. I was just hoping that's not what you guys are talking about right now.
Shoot, nah,
y'all nasty fucks. Oh, y'all kidding me. Anyways.
Oh man, oh boy.
Whatever.
Whatever his name is.
Right. He's 45 years old. I actually like Nate McMillan. He got fired, but hopefully he lands somewhere.
Yeah, because he hasn't gotten an assistant coaching job anywhere. That's crazy.
He's 45. He was under Nick Nurse as the assistant coach of the Raptors. And he was also an assistant coach with the Phoenix Suns. So congrats to him. And good luck, man. You got your work cut out for you. Houston hired Steven Silas as a new coach. That's another person I had no idea who they were.
Me either.
Yeah, he's the assistant coach for the Dallas Mavericks. He's considered an offensive genius, apparently. And he coached guards like Steph Curry, Luka Doncic, and Kemba Walker. Oh, that's big.
Wow,
that's
that is good
for him.
Wow. So he's a legit NBA caliber coach if he's worked with those guys.
Yeah, and I also know he's African American, so there's not many of the coaches that are African American. So congratulations
That's awesome.
to him.
Big shout outs to him.
Hopefully, he does well over there and turns that program around, or whatever happens with that program. I'm hearing a lot about trades and blowing it up. Mm-hmm. They lost Daryl Morey, who signed with the Philly.
With Philly, you got to deal with Philly.
Right,
that's right.
Deal with Philly on a 5-year deal. So he's in the East now, man. So the Celtics will have to deal with him. But congrats to Steven Silas as the new coach. A big name coach got hired as an assistant coach, and he's gonna be under his own former player. And I'm talking about Mike D'Antoni, who got hired by the
Brooklyn Nets.
Brooklyn Nets.
Yeah.
I was gonna say Jets. By the Nets.
Nets and Jets, they're right.
As an assistant coach, and I felt like that's actually a good move for Steve Nash, because like you're a rookie in this
Absolutely.
thing. You know, you need somebody that's actually been there before, you know, on your staff that can guide you. You know, maybe you'll have different schemes or different part of the game where your ideas come in more. But with somebody like Mike D'Antoni, who's had over 20-year experience in the league, you know, I thought that was a big move for him. You know, in the rookie year of his coaching career. So, you know, I don't think there's no shame in that for Mike D'Antoni, just because it's like that's his former player, and I think maybe he's willing to like give the knowledge that he has, you know, to Steve Nash, you know, show him the ropes.
Yeah, I don't think it's a shame at all. I don't even. I thought he was gonna take a break. I thought that there was rumors that he was gonna take a break
from coaching, and
so I don't think it's a shame. I think he's probably more than happy to come back and just help Steve Nash become a good coach.
Right, and not to have your name, you know, as the person that's taking all the blame for whatever happens, it could also, you know, feel good, you know.
Yeah, but
as a position for you to come back into the league,
he's a competitor, so I don't think he cares.
But
too
you know,
much.
this year he's like, yo, I ain't gonna have to answer none of the questions this year. You know what I'm saying? Like, Nash is gonna have to stand. You know, whatever happens.
All the post game interviews after the game. No,
Right.
this is definitely a good hire for Steve Nash and the Brooklyn Nets. For sure, I hope they even make him the lead assistant on that staff. It would make sense. I'm sure they have a really good rapport and good relationship, and that's probably sure why he was hired by them. And and I'm sure this was a good gig for him to have until he gets his next head coaching gig, wherever that may be. So no, good move by the Steve Nash and the Nets. So shout out to them.
Bro, what the hell was that?
Yo, I don't know what was that, man, for sure.
Right. I know. I was trying to figure that out too. I'm like, what? Like, what's going on?
What the fuck was that?
Right. Like,
Yo, I'm watching. I'm like, yo, what are we watching? Yo, like,
right.
Like, it's a sport.
what is this big ass shit? Like,
You know it's a sport, right? Like, I don't know.
I've seen it before, and I'm just like,
They
what?
consider that a
fuck is
sport?
that?
I've never seen that before. I mean, for those of you listening and watching,
Oh, I'm not even recording. I stopped
now.
it.
oh,
'Cause I didn't want them to know, like, we're watching.
oh
the
no,
whole
that's
thing
fine.
while we're- you know
I
what I'm
think
saying?
it's funny actually.
Oh my god.
What the fuck was that?
I know, dude. That was crazy. Yeah, I was trying to figure that out. I had no idea what we were seeing and witnessing.
No, I don't even think we should erase that.
That's why I'm actually gonna keep that right there.
I think it's funny. I think it's
for the
really
people,
funny. Yeah.
that are listening. We were actually watching. What were we watching? The game.
Well, we are
Patriots
watching
game?
the
fifth
Patriots
quarter.
game, and then the fourth quarter of
The
the
fifth quarter came on, and then this weird ass
sport.
motorsport came on with the like.
It's
what
like a
was that?
big.
It had
It's like a big truck pushing dirt
the
around.
minivan. Like what was that? Like a
like
semi.
motocross or something.
It's
like
not
that?
no motocross is bikes. That was like I don't know what that
you
was.
You seen that? That truck had like 4 big ass engines in front of it.
Yeah.
And the engine was. I mean, the front of the vehicle was moving up and down. That shit. So I changed it to a football, and Vlad's like, "Yo, what the fuck is that?"
Because I was looking at it, I'm like, this is a sport. Like
Yo.
people actually like.
People actually pay attention to that shit. You know what? When I was watching it, what I was thinking, I'm like, yo, I wonder if they make the same amount of money as NASCAR.
It's called the Lucas Oil Pro Pulling League.
the Lucas Oil Pro
Pulling League. Oh, what?
It's
I've heard
called
that name.
What the
you know,
hell
for
is
sure.
that? What?
Yeah,
it's called pulling.
that's crazy.
Pulling. Jeez.
So
know,
if
You have a league for that?
Yeah,
Oh,
so
Lord.
for y'all that are listening and watching, look up the pulling league, and you're gonna see what Yo, look it up on YouTube and you'll see the highlights.
God.
Yo, whatever the highlights are, you see it.
Listen, man. For the pulling league fans, if you're paying attention to our podcast,
We just don't know what the hell
don't
that
offend you. We just don't know what the fuck's going on.
Right, yeah, exactly. We were just not aware of that sport and what actually happens and transpires during, while that sport's going on. Yeah,
That's not big in our community.
No, hey, we ain't
They were
about
keeping
that.
time. They were keeping time, right?
I guess.
Like,
Yeah,
how
that's what it seemed like,
across the
probably.
line, they were
Yeah.
going one by one.
I don't even know, man. But
no,
let's
that
keep
shit was
going,
funny, man.
Yeah, it's right. That should we spend enough time on
Right.
that? Let's
We were
keep it
talking
moving.
about the Brooklyn Nets and hiring Mike D'Antoni before that happened, but the Jets actually made another move
The Nets.
where the Nets. Did I
Yes.
say the Jets?
Yes, you did.
Damn. Why would you guys have two names and for the same whatever state, so close to each other?
And
Nets,
that rhyme,
Jets,
exactly.
and
Not that close. Right, for real.
Until I guess this year they both sucked, for the longest. But the Nets hired Amari Stoudemire as an assistant coach.
sir.
Oh, nice.
And,
Good for him.
I think that's big too because I
it's
know
the
he
whole-
was playing in China.
The whole Phoenix Suns crew all together.
Right, the band's getting back together, for real.
Yeah, no, that's good. All they need to do is add what's
Shaq?
his name? Not Shaq, the Matrix.
Oh, Sean Marion. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
that would be dope if they brought him as an assistant coach on the team. Right. Then they'd really be able to have the whole crew back together and actually run that same offense, that Phoenix ran when all those guys were playing.
I don't know if they want to run that same offense because it hasn't won in this league.
Yeah, that's true.
So I'd stay away. It's fun to watch in the regular season, though, for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
the
And it
amount of
wins you a
points
lot
these
of
guys
games
get
then. Right.
And the frequency of time they get it, that was beautiful basketball offensively.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But I haven't heard anything about a defensive coach yet, so hopefully they get one. Maybe
I'm sure he has
Nets.
one on his staff. Yeah, I'm sure he'll get at least one defensive-minded, coach as an assistant on there. So Steve Smash is a smart guy. He'll figure that out.
Yeah, man. And lastly, for the NBA, the NBA PA are trying to push the start of the 2020-21 season to January 18, 2021, which would be MLK Day. And from what I'm hearing, the players want to start on MLK Day too. They don't want to start in December, which would give them some more time.
I think they just need more time to recuperate some of the guys that played all the way till October. They just need more time, which I'm never mad at. I mean, selfishly, I want to watch NBA on Christmas Day, but MLK Day sounds like a perfect day to watch NBA as well.
Listen, man, the NBA just ended, so it's not gonna be long for us to, January is right around the corner.
Yeah.
So
I don't
November
see
1st today.
exactly.
Right.
We're in November. January is right around the corner.
And also, it gives the pandemic more time to chill out because things are going back to
Square one, right.
what it used to be, crazy numbers.
Right.
So hopefully that gives the pandemic more time to come.
Right. Do you have another bubble situation? Because now
think
32 teams are going to come in.
They might have to
30
do that.
teams. 30
teams, yeah.
Right.
I think they'll 100% do it. I don't see why not. It worked.
Exactly.
It
Right.
worked.
They already
I'm
have
saying,
the
like,
blueprint.
do they have another bubble?
No, I'm
Because they
saying-
have to,
Yeah, I'm answering your question. I'm saying yes, they do.
They have another one?
Oh, I'm assuming. I'm saying yes.
My
they will
thing is,
need
like,
to.
if you're gonna start up in December, there's 30 teams that are gonna participate.
will need
now,
to.
not just the amount of teams that were in the bubble. So
No,
It's not just the 22.
it's only
that
eight.
was
It's
there.
only 8 more teams.
That's a lot more heads.
I know.
though. Right,
I think they can make it happen.
you need a second location.
I think they can make it happen. No, I think the. I
The
think
Disney World?
I think Disney is big enough.
They could hold 30 teams, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
Okay, if that's the case, do we bring in families?
Nah, like
No,
So the
you
players
can't.
are gonna go another season, a full season this time, without any of their family.
I mean, they're gonna bring in families just like they did later on
in the playoffs, right?
Yeah,
Just like we saw in the bubble.
maybe one or two
Playoff
people.
I'm definitely curious to see what the NBA is gonna do with that, right?
It's
there,
gonna be
'cause
tough, you're
if
right.
I'm a player, I'm not gonna be okay with spending a whole season away from
It's
my
gonna be
family.
tough,
Like,
yeah.
I'm just not doing that. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, I'd rather sit out or whatever. Yo, I'll retire for this year. You know what I'm saying? I'll be back.
Sit out a year, or maybe have like limited, family members, and
I do think
in the bubble, kind of like what they did this year. They could probably put that to a minimum as far as how many each player gets to bring, because that's difficult for these guys to go a whole season without seeing any of their family, because most of these guys some of these guys are married and have children and have kids and have a wife, so you could only imagine how long and how tough that is to not be able to see them for a long period of time.
I do think that they will reduce the games from 72 to I don't know, maybe
No, from 82.
82.
70.
No. It was already at 72.
Oh, wow.
If they started in December.
Yeah.
So I think they're gonna reduce it from 72 to maybe
What, 50?
68, maybe 62.
65 or
Yeah,
something?
65, like, cause that's a long time from December to
For you to be away from your
January,
family?
So I think
That's a whole month of basketball.
I think they will reduce maybe 10 more games. They will take out 10 more games, so from 72 to 62 or something like that.
Hey, man, whatever happens, man, I just, like, the bubble was a raving success. They had
Absolutely.
0 cases. I definitely would want to see those players. And, I mean, we also got to see, like, more personality on the courts. Hearing the guys talk on the courts, the way the guys were interacting with each other outside of the game. You saw who was friends outside of their team and stuff like that. The camaraderie between the guys. I don't know. I like that setup, but we're thinking about families coming in. But then if families come in, you got to think about the kids need to go to school. What are they doing?
Exactly.
Right.
Are they going to be able to do the virtual stuff there? Will they be okay to be there, for however amount of time that is? And what's the plan? Are we going to get a vaccine soon where, you spend half the year in the bubble and then, you're able to come out? Like, we just don't know what's going to happen with the pandemic, man. So
Sure, there's a lot of factors that go into, having this NBA season for next year, and what is actually gonna be able to happen, and what teams and players can and can't do. So it'll be interesting to see what the NBA comes up with for this next upcoming season.
Yeah, man. So I mean, I definitely want to see the NBA come back.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
In January, I wouldn't mind seeing them come back in January. I don't need them to rush, because I saw the players what's his name, Green from the Lakers,
Danny Green.
He was saying, like, if they come back in December, like, guys like LeBron will take like a month off and not really play. You know what I'm saying? Just because of that,
need that recovery time.
The older guys, it's just not fair for them, man. But let's move on into the MLB, where the season's over. Last time we were talking about Game 6 of the World Series and what we would like to see. I think we all wanted to see a Game 7, but that did not happen. The LA Dodgers, they broke a 32-year streak and won the World Series. The last time they did that was in 1988. Dave Roberts became the second black manager and first Asian manager to win the World Series.
He's Asian? I didn't even know he was Asian.
Yeah, well, he's half, I guess.
He was born in Japan.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Wow, did not know that. That's interesting.
The first black manager actually was Cito Gaston, and he was the manager of the Toronto Blue Jays in 1992. And we saw some interesting stuff happen. So we saw, Clayton Kershaw finally got, his chip. He did well. He did
About
well.
time.
Yeah, man. And we also saw something else. Justin Turner, who tested positive during the game, which I don't understand. I feel like, maybe they need faster test results or something, because I don't understand how.
So they did the test, and I think the lab got them a false positive or something like that. And then when they had to like redo the test again, and then they couldn't get the result until the lab couldn't provide them the results until the game had already started. So once they got the results, it was positive, so they had to pull him out of the game.
Yup, and and pull him out. They did, but then he came out to celebrate after the team won the game. So he was asked to go to the locker room, stay away from everybody, but then he came back onto the field and celebrated, and not just celebrated, man. When I look at the replays, I see this guy like hugging, jumping on people, no mask. He was like face to face with his girl. He was sitting right
crazy.
next to Dave Roberts in the team picture. I was just like,
And Dave Roberts is a cancer survivor as well.
holy crap.
Oh shoot!
If that's the
Damn.
case, that's definitely negligent on Dave Roberts' part. Like, how
My
could
goodness, that even looks worse on them now. I did not even know that. Wow.
I just think it's. I don't think it's that big of a deal, to be honest. I understand it's unfortunate that he was out there, but he won the World Series, an opportunity of a lifetime, something he might never do again. It's his first World Series. I just understand the need to want to be out there, and I bet you his manager, who was a cancer survivor, actually wanted him to be out there. It's unfortunate the situation that we're in with the virus and all, but I think everybody just wants to celebrate. Unfortunately, he did that. I think maybe he could have wear his mask the whole time and maybe not get too close to people, but all I'm gonna say is I understand, man. If I won anything, the World Series, the Super Bowl, anything, it would be really hard for me to like not want to be out there with my teammates and my family and my coach, my teammates that I fought with all year long. It would just be very hard not to be out there with them.
Yeah, I think both me and Barry are like, what, dude? Like,
right.
This is Vlad's take.
No,
on
but
this?
but think about it. Like the biggest game of the year, you win it, and you have to stay in the locker room. That's gonna be really hard. I advocate for people to wear masks and stay safe and all that, but I just understood.
Listen, bro.
I just understood his need to want to be out there.
I get exactly what you're talking about, but if I'm on that team, I don't care if we just want to stay the fuck away from me, bro.
I'm telling
know what
you,
I mean?
you wouldn't
Like,
feel that way.
At least wear a mask.
Let me.
At least wear a mask,
put a
bro.
mask
Yeah,
on.
no,
Right.
I
was
agree.
just about
I
to
agree.
say that.
He should have
But
had it.
How do you come out
Wear
with
a
no
mask,
on,
wear a
for real?
scarf, dude. I'd be in a fucking bubble on the field celebrating. You know what I'm saying?
Like have some sort of
Listen.
face covering, right? For real.
Do something. Get a football helmet. Get a mask. I don't care what happens.
Right, as long as your face is covered, yeah.
I completely agree with you guys. I think he should have wear a mask.
I see what
for
you're
sure.
saying, like in that moment, like you're so excited, you know what I'm saying? Like you're not even thinking like, fuck that, I'm going outside. You know what I mean? But at the same time.
But I'm saying even his teammates want him to be out there.
Listen, I
You know
don't
what
doubt that at all. I don't doubt that at all. But
It just sucks. It
I
just
feel
sucks.
like he was a little irresponsible. I would have been, I would have put a plastic bag over my head.
You're right. He should have been
Plastic bag.
He should have been able to do both. He shouldn't been able to celebrate his team and be safe. Like put a mask, make sure you don't get so close to people. Like he should have been doing both. I just understand. I was just like, I saw a lot of people calling him, but I was just like, man, that's hard, man. It's been a hard year. It's been a frustrating year.
Right.
It's been a frustrating 3-4 years because they've been to the World Series like 2017, 2018, and it's just hard to not come out here and celebrate. Even his coach, who knows he shouldn't be out there, didn't even care at that moment. You know what I mean? Just because the surmountable happiness you feel at that moment just comes over you and you just don't, you're not even.
I feel you, bro. I feel you.
To mind, right?
But you're right. 100%, he should have wear his mask.
Listen,
and
man.
he should have tried to keep his distance.
Even if I felt good, bro, like me personally, I would have did something to protect you guys. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I said,
sure.
like I'd put a freaking plastic bag over my head if I had to.
Because God forbid something happened to his coach, it would be a really bad day.
Listen,
after that.
I know there's
Or it
masks
could
in there.
spread among his teammates, right?
They have masks. You put one of them, medical ones on, and then put another one over it. At least, bro. That's
real,
where
man.
I'm at
That's
with
facts,
that.
Man. I'm with you on that, bro. That's big
man.
facts.
But congratulations to the Dodgers. Mookie Betts came in. I think he was responsible for two two
Two of their runs.
Two of their runs.
He did his thing that World Series, and particularly that game 6. Yeah, it had that first run of the game and stuff, and then he had the home run at the end of the game in the 8th inning. That was pretty much insurance and the dagger. For the Dodgers. So no, he made a pretty good impact on the series for sure, and pretty much brought that championship experience and that championship pedigree that he had with the Red Sox. He brought that to LA with the Dodgers, and it definitely paid off for them. So definitely big shout out to Mookie Betts, and then also Corey Seager.
Yep, who's the MVP?
What MVP? Believe was he like the first shortstop to win that? At least in most recent years, I think he's the first one to win it in a while. So he had another really good series as well. So no, by far the Dodgers definitely deserve to win this World Series. They were the better team and the more talented team, and you could just tell like this was the year, like everything was falling in place for them and going their way, and they definitely played like a World Series championship caliber team, and Clayton Kershaw finally got it together and got out of his postseason what was kind of reminded me like of David Price on when the Red Sox won the World Series, and now he had all those postseason woes, and he finally had that great postseason in 2018 and won us the World Series. So Clayton Kershaw definitely pitched well for them and did his thing, as well as the rest of the team pitched well and and did their thing too. But I want to give credit to the Tampa Bay Rays because they played, I thought, pretty well for the most part. They made some mistakes, especially taking their pitcher out after 6 innings.
Oh,
like,
that was wild. That was wild.
He was in the zone, like on top of his game, and like shutting down that whole lineup. And just because it was about to be the third time around the order, that lineup, the manager Kevin Cash decided to take him out, and yeah, I thought that was absolutely ridiculous and outrageous for him to do that, and especially when you just because he let one guy on and the guy got a base hit, and I get third time around the order. Usually that's when a lineup does well, but I definitely don't agree with that decision, and it cost them a World Series, and it was unfortunate because that series, if that didn't happen, I think that would have gone to Game 7. But give credit to the Dodgers for fighting back and winning the series and becoming the world champions.
Yeah, facts, man. That was definitely a fatal move for the Tampa Bay Rays, taking that pitcher out there, man.
Yeah, that was one of the worst decisions I've seen in a baseball
He had
game.
pitched 6 innings, and he had one. I think he gave up one hit or something like that. And
yeah,
then,
only like one hit. Right.
And then as soon as they took him out, man, there was base hits and home runs. So that was bad.
They were starting to get it on base, and the Dodgers looked like lineup started to get into a rhythm. Right.
Yeah, and Corey Seager, man, he batted 400 in this series. He actually,
I can see why he got MVP.
Right, he actually was the NLCS MVP as well.
Wow, so he had a great postseason. Big shout out to him.
Yeah, and he became like the 8th player to ever win the LCS and World Series MVP honors in the same season.
Wow,
right.
That's what's up.
The last to do it was Madison Bumgarner of the Giants in 2014. So congrats to him and everything he did in the series. And lastly, Red Sox are in contact with Alex Cora. After his suspension is over, he is rumored to be coming back as manager. I don't know, how true the rumors are, but he is in talks with the Red Sox, and I know a lot of Red Sox fans want to see him back with the team. Mm-hmm. As well as a lot of Red Sox fans that don't want to see him back because of the what do you call it, the scandal he was involved with the Astros. So that rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. But people that really want the Red Sox to succeed know his track record and the type of manager, the caliber of manager he was when he was here. So
won the World Series here.
me personally, I'd like to see him back here. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know who we're gonna bring in to do a better job than him. You know what I'm saying? Who we could be excited about? Because I feel like the whole region would be excited about Alex Cora coming back. Maybe running back. I don't know.
Really, even after the scandal of him cheating with the Astros, you still think the fan base in Red Sox Nation would be excited about the Red Sox bringing Alex Cora as their manager back, John? You really feel that way?
Yeah. Actually, he like posted something on Halloween where he was posing with the trophy. And somebody that works for the Red Sox says, let's run it back, or somebody that's affiliated with the Red Sox. So I think people would be excited to see him back, and the fact that MLB didn't do shit to the Houston Astros. Why are we here? Like harping on Alex Cora and putting him down when MLB didn't do shit to the Astros and they made it all the way where they went and made it.
Right, and interesting enough, John, that the actual manager of that team who was a part of that scandal that year, he already has a job now. He already got another manager job. He just got hired by the Detroit Tigers.
So why can't, you know what I'm saying? Like, listen.
And it hasn't even been up to a year since they've come out with that scandal and punished them for the MLB, and yet he's already back managing and working in baseball already. So you're right, they shouldn't hold Alex Cora hostage because he was a bench coach at that time, so he wasn't even the manager when all that scandal was going on. So if the head guy already has a job, right? Why can't Alex Cora not have a job?
That's a fact, man. So that's my opinion on it, man.
No, I'm with you on that, John, for sure, man.
Yeah. We want to move into soccer, Vlad?
Yes. So this week we are celebrating the 6th-year birthday of Diego Armando Maradona. One of the greatest soccer players ever. And also Cristiano Ronaldo tested positive for COVID-19 a couple weeks ago. He finally tested negative, so he's finally back with his team.
Oh, great. Awesome.
And the team had lost every game without him except for one game, I think.
Wow.
And
really? Wow. So they've still been playing well.
No, they have lost.
Oh, they lost. Oh, okay. I misunderstood.
He's like the LeBron of the league, bro.
But now
right. No. I got confused. That's my fault. So they hadn't been playing well. No, I got you.
Now that he's back, they actually won a game, so that's good. But yeah, I mean, I don't really have too many updates today, but those two updates.
Okay, nice, man. We're gonna move into a question of the week, which is from somebody familiar, man. And we definitely want to thank you for continually sending in your questions to us, man. And I think the whole show basically is Pro Fan Sports Podcast, right? So we're where the fans of the pros go, and we appreciate the people that write in the questions. You know what I'm saying? Because we're fans of the pros, and if we have any insight on what's happening in the pro game, we love to get those questions. So if you want to send the questions, is profansports1@gmail.com, or hit up any of us. We're on social media. Follow us on Instagram, profans_sport. You'll get all our contacts, all our personal Instagram pages. You can connect with us if you really want to. But Eddie Rodriguez, man, shout outs to you again.
Yes, big shout out to Eddie, my guy.
And his question was, do you think the Steelers can beat the Ravens with Big Ben? Do you think Lamar Jackson will throw or run more during the game?
Well, the Steelers did beat the Ravens 28-24. And Lamar Jackson, I know he threw an interception, and he also threw a couple touchdowns. I don't know if he threw more or if he ran more, but here goes your answer. I mean, you already got your answer. Yeah.
Right. I mean, as we just saw, the Steelers just beat the Ravens. I mean, they barely beat them, but a win's a win. I did catch the end of that game after the Pats game. against the Bills, and yeah, that was a pretty close game. The Ravens even had the ball at the last second of the game and had a chance to win, and fell short of completing their comeback. But nonetheless, yeah, definitely, Ravens. I mean, Steelers can beat any team with Big Ben, particularly with the way they're playing right now. They're playing really well. 7-0. They're the best team in football right now. So they definitely have a chance to win any game with Big Ben healthy and playing the way that he's been playing. And Lamar Jackson, I didn't see the stats.
I got the stats right now.
Okay.
So Lamar Jackson threw 13. He was 13 for 28. He threw for 208 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He ran 16 times for 65 yards.
Wow. So I mean, he did run the ball a lot, and and then have quite a few rushes. I would have still said, even if I didn't know those stats that Vlad just stated, I would have probably still said throw the ball more. He would have threw more than ran it during the game. And I wouldn't have guessed that he ran it that many times. So, but I thought he did okay. Obviously, he made some mistakes that cost him. But he definitely he's gonna throw more than run in pretty much just about all the games they play this year for the Ravens.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think you guys, answered the questions, So, I mean, congratulations, Eddie. Your team beat the Ravens, so
That's a good win for
that's
them,
the most important thing. You know what I'm saying? Your team won, right? I don't think Lamar. Lamar Jackson's definitely gonna throw and run the game and run during the game. But I don't think the Ravens are gonna win many games if Lamar Jackson is running more than throwing. You know what I'm saying? Because that they actually need to throw. If you watch the Patriots game, we actually need to, be able to get some completions down the field to win some of these games, man. And he's always gonna need to throw. No matter how inaccurate or the lack of production from the receivers. That's why they signed Des Bryant, because they're missing a lot on offense when it comes to the receiving core, and I think the one guy they got, what's his name, Brown?
Yeah, Hollywood Brown, Marquise Brown.
Right, he can't do it by himself. I like him too. He's on my fantasy team, and he didn't do much today, man.
I think he got one touchdown, but other than that, he didn't do too much.
I didn't even see that he got the touchdown. The whole time I'm looking, he had 0 points. So,
I think it was late that he got that touchdown later in the game. But
congratulations, thank God.
Right. At least he got you some fantasy points this week. At least he contributed to your fantasy team somehow, John.
No, facts, man. But again, Eddie, man, please.
Thank you again, Eddie, for the question,
as many questions as you want, bro.
Right. Just keep sending those questions. Keep them coming.
We'll try to get in as many questions as we can during the show, man. And, thank you for your thoughts, Barry. You told me what was going on and thoughts you had on the podcast. I don't even need to repeat any of that.
Right.
We appreciate the thoughts and, you continually listening to the podcast and supporting us, man. Keep spreading the word out in Philly, man.
Yeah, no, for sure. Big shout outs to Eddie. Glad that we have a big fan of the podcast in Philadelphia, and and that he's been supporting and listening every week, and he appreciates what we do and enjoys listening to us. So yeah, man, keep on listening and keep on sending those questions, and we'll definitely keep putting out episodes and keep answering those questions whenever you want to send them. So whether
you're just saying exactly what I just said.
I guess you could erase that part.
Because it's just like redundant if we're saying pretty much keep sending the same. You know what I'm saying?
No, I hear you. You can take out that part. That's fine.
All right. I think that's fine right there. Whenever you
I
want
mean,
to send them. That was good where you ended.
Okay.
Because you said whenever you want to send them. I think that's good to end it there.
Okay, cool.
You're about to be up for the B Money.
Right. Yeah, I got that ready.
Yeah, man, you said exactly right, Barry. So now we're gonna move into the B Money Lifestyle Person of the Week, and I think Barry got a good person this week. What's going on with that?
Yeah, definitely. I would agree with you on that. That we certainly have a good and special person, an individual for this week's B Money Lifestyle Person of the Week, and that person would be the Washington football team head coach Ron Rivera. That still sounds weird saying Washington football team, but nonetheless,
Better than the other thing.
right? Facts, and we're obviously not gonna say that on the podcast. So y'all already know what the other name was. So that definitely goes without saying. But nonetheless, he did something that was really pretty awesome and really a great and inspiring accomplishment. So I'm sure if you guys don't know, he had apparently been going through some some cancer and has been fighting through that throughout the season and even during training camp. But this past week, it was actually right after they beat the Dallas Cowboys. The next day, he apparently had his last round of chemotherapy and proton therapy, making it the end of his 7 weeks of treatment. So yeah, he still has several more weeks of follow-up appointments and scans, but Monday was definitely a milestone for Ron Rivera since he was able to get through his his chemotherapy treatments successfully. So which is pretty awesome because he's been going through a lot of pain, and I'm sure it's really affected him and the team and throughout the season. And it was good that they even won the game against the Cowboys and won that for him. And it was actually pretty cool. He actually got to ring a bell inside the hospital as he was going through the last round of his chemotherapy treatment, and all the nurses, clapped and cheered for him as he was ringing that bell. So definitely, he's Rivera strong, and he certainly has shown a lot of strength and been brave and courageous for continuing to coach and do his job through this tough time that he's going through, and going through these treatments. And certainly have a lot of respect for him for being able to get through that situation and being able to still continue to do his job and to continue to coach the football team while he was going through the treatment. So congrats to Ron Rivera on being this week's B Money Lifestyle Person of the Week, and that's definitely that B Money Lifestyle. And I also want to give a special shout out this week to my mother, who will be celebrating a birthday on November 2nd. So definitely happy birthday, Mom, Regina Ebua. That's her name. So I definitely wanted to show her some love and give her a shout out for her big birthday coming up.
Oh yeah, man. Shout outs to your mom, man. What's your mom's name again, dude?
Regina.
Regina. Yeah, I remember you said that on one of the podcasts, like one of our earlier ones. You know what I'm saying?
The one that we did, I think, on Mother's Day, which was my birthday.
Like May, man. Regina, happy birthday, Barry's mom.
Yes, thank you, John. Appreciate it, man.
And many more. And
right. Glad that she made it another year and has another year ahead. So
Facts,
definitely
man.
blessed to still have her around.
Yeah, and congratulations to Ron Rivera. I had been following that story for some time too, and it's definitely kind of crazy that you're going through chemo and still working at the same time. So,
Right, for sure.
I'm glad that he was lucky enough to figure out whatever happened with him early enough to get treatment and get into a better health status, and hopefully that stays the way it does. You know what I'm saying? And that's gonna be it for episode 33, man. So
I just want to wish Barry's mom a happy birthday.
Oh, thank you, Brad. I appreciate
And
that, man.
congrats to Juan Rivera.
No, for real.
Yeah, thanks,
man.
fellas, on that. Appreciate it. Thanks for the love for my mom.
Facts, man. And like I was about to say, man, that's it. That's gonna be it for episode 33, man. We'll catch you guys on episode 34.